There's a little thermostat on the wall in my bedroom, and at 2 in the morning last week it read 78. Not dangerous, not even that far off. But I laid there staring at the ceiling fan, wide awake, kicking the sheet off and pulling it back, and I could not get under. 78 in the daytime I'd never notice. 78 at night had me wrecked by morning. This has figured something out. I'm Dave. I fix air conditioners over in Kingfisher, and today I'm working through why a warm bedroom does that to you. Because everybody knows a hot room makes for a rough night. What I figured out is there's a real reason underneath it, and it explains a whole pile of the phone calls I get in July from people who are at the absolute end of their rope. Some of my hardest summer calls don't come from folks whose air conditioning quit cold. They come from folks whose system mostly works, but just can't quite pull the bedroom down at night. They're not in danger, they're just not sleeping. And a week of not sleeping turns a level-headed person into somebody frazzled and desperate, ready to hand me money just to buy one good night back. I used to figure they were making a little much of it. A few degrees, come on. Then I read into why heat wrecks sleep, and I quit thinking that. A hot bedroom isn't a small annoyance you tough out. It's working straight against the one thing your body has to do to fall asleep in the first place. Once I understood how that works, those worn-out phone calls made all the sense in the world. The sleep folks have this nailed down. To fall asleep, your body actually has to drop its core temperature a hair. That drop is part of the trigger. As you wind down at night, your body sheds a little heat, the inside of you cools off just slightly, and that dip is one of the signals that tells your brain it's time to go under. It isn't a preference. It's part of the machinery. Now stick that same body in a hot bedroom. The room won't take the heat off of it, so the core can't make that little downward move, and the signal to sleep never quite lands. And they've measured what happens next. People in too warm rooms take longer to drop off, they wake up more through the night, and they get less of the deep, repair you kind of sleep. There's a name for it, fragmented sleep, which just means broke up into pieces. You can be in that bed a full 8 hours and wake up feeling like you fought a war, because the heat never let your body fully power down. That's why a hot bedroom is so much worse than it sounds. It isn't just uncomfortable, it's jamming the off switch your body's supposed to flip. Once that clicked for me, I started treating the bedroom as its own separate problem, not just part of cooling the house. A lot of homes cool the living room like a dream and leave the bedrooms 10 degrees behind. Upstairs especially, the room farthest from the unit especially. In the daytime, nobody gives it a thought. At night, that's the only room that counts, and it's the one coming up short. So when somebody tells me they can't sleep, I go straight after that one room. Is the air actually getting there? Is the duct feeding it crushed or leaking off into a hot attic? Would the house sleep better setting the thermostat back a little at night so the system's got the muscle to reach that far room? Sometimes the fix is balancing the airflow. Sometimes it's a setback. Sometimes it's me being honest that the system was never sized to hold the upstairs on a 100-degree night, and we need to talk that through. But I take it serious now because I know it isn't about comfort. It's about whether they sleep. And sleep bleeds into everything else in a person's life. The thing I really figured out is that the bedroom at night is the most important room in the house, and in the summer it's usually the one we cool the worst. So here's what I've got. You can't sleep in a hot room because your body has to cool itself down to fall asleep, and the heat won't let it. That's not weakness, and it's not making a fuss. It's biology, plain and simple. So when somebody calls me wrung out from a solid week of Oklahoma summer nights, I don't tell them it's just a few degrees. I go find out why that one room won't cool, because getting it right is the whole difference between them sleeping and them not. The bedroom at night is the room that matters most. In an Oklahoma summer, it's earned the right to be the one we get right. This has figured something out. I'm Dave Hartzell. Thanks for riding along. Call 405-375-4822 or book at hartzellsheethair.com.